Welcome back to Warhawk. This is episode 3 of our podcast. I am your host, Sophia Smith, and today we have our third guest for our third episode, and I guess I'll welcome our guest.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caden Boehnen. I'm currently a junior here at UW-Whitewater, and I'm double majoring in entrepreneurship and finance. I'm from McFarland, Wisconsin, which is just right outside of Madison, and I'm excited to be here today.
We are excited that you're on here. Thank you for doing this, taking time out of your finals week, but pretty busy week for everybody here on campus. So we're going to jump right into our first topic, getting to know the guest. So I guess who are you? You said where you're from. Do you want to tell us anything about your family or one fun fact about you?
Yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, I'm from McFarland. I grew up with 2 siblings. I have a brother and a sister, and really have been involved in business since the start of high school. As you can see, I'm wearing a DECA shirt, and I actually joined DECA in high school, and I continued it throughout college, which I'll definitely go into later in the podcast. But yeah, and I really just like taking time each day to go outside, and being outdoors is probably my favorite thing to do outside of class. So
awesome. One question: what rank are you between your siblings?
I'm the middle child, unfortunately, but
hey, unfortunately, that can be a good thing sometimes. So, all right, what made you decide your major? Maybe like important mentors in your life, high school classes, or just other passions you might have?
Yeah. So definitely my high school mentor, I guess, teacher. Shout out to Ginger. She was my business teacher in high school and definitely gave me all the tools that I needed to really succeed in business and choose business and really find a passion for it. She was also my DECA advisor in high school, and then outside of school, my parents were a huge inspiration for me. They've always been committed to making sure that I get the best opportunities possible, and I'm very thankful for everything that they do, for sure.
That's awesome. So with that high school teacher and stuff, since you've always been involved in DECA and business throughout high school, what made you want to come to Whitewater? Was that the business part, you just saw that, or is it something totally different that made you choose Whitewater?
Yeah, so Whitewater actually was not my first choice. Growing up in the Madison area, I did want to go to Madison, but I actually toured UW-Whitewater, and I fell in love with the campus instantly. Growing up in Madison, I knew the campus very well, so I didn't really feel like I needed to take a tour. But it was really close to home, and I did want to do something that wasn't as close to home. And Whitewater was definitely probably my second choice. And after touring the campus itself, seeing just how involved everyone was and all the opportunities that are available, it became my number one pretty quickly. And I'm very happy here. I would definitely not change it. I would not, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't change a single thing because definitely the right choice. And I love Whitewater, and I love everything that it has to offer.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I chose it too. Going into that, since you're from Madison, do you commute, or did you live on campus your first 2 years? Do you still live on campus?
Yeah, so I actually have lived on campus all 3 years, being a junior, and right now I'm off campus just because it's easier, off campus for upperclassmen. But yeah, I've never commuted. I've been on campus, and I think that was a big thing too, is I didn't really want to live at home. I kind of wanted to experience independence and freedom, and I feel like if I went to school closer to home, I feel like I wouldn't have done that as much, just cost-wise. So
I know a lot of people from Madison commute, but that's good. That I think living on campus is a big part. It can make or break. Do you go home a lot on the weekends or stay here?
I think my freshman year I did a lot, but as you kind of get to know the campus more, make more friends, find people that actually stay here on the weekends, you definitely hang around those people and stay here on the weekends more. And it's not that I don't like going home, but I definitely enjoy being on campus and having fun.
I know a lot of people call it Whitewater suitcase school.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, making friends and getting involved helps a lot when staying on campus.
Absolutely.
Moving into our second topic, so experience at Whitewater. What's your favorite campus tradition, and how have you been involved on campus, specifically within CoBE?
Yeah. My favorite campus tradition is probably homecoming week. I absolutely love participating in all the activities. This year we had bed races, and I was the driver of our bed for DECA, and that was a great experience. I was a little bit worried just because I didn't know what to expect because we haven't really done it since I've been here at school, but it was a lot of fun and definitely my favorite tradition. Being involved on campus, I'm in DECA, as I mentioned, and then I'm currently the Vice President of Competition for DECA here at Whitewater, and then for Launchpad, that was the other thing I'm involved with. It's a scholarship program where you're able to essentially create and start a business and determine whether or not it's a viable business to go forward with without really investing any of your money, because you do get that scholarship, and that was a great experience being an entrepreneurship major, learning kind of the real world experience that goes with owning and starting a business. And it was a great experience, and I totally recommend it for anyone that is even thinking about starting a business or has a business. You can also do that as well.
So going back to the bed races, did you guys win?
We got second or third. I can't remember, but we were pretty fast. So I was really happy with that outcome. So
good.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So you started talking about a little bit being involved. So we're gonna move right into the Launchpad topic. Like, how did you find out about Launchpad specifically?
So, as an entrepreneurship major, you have to take an introduction to entrepreneurship class, and that's kind of like a mini capstone class where you generate a business idea with a group, and then you kind of go forward with it and developing the marketing strategies, the financial aspect, and just kind of what the business is, what the problem is that you're trying to solve. And at the end of the semester, you make a presentation and then present your business to the class. And one of my group mates and I, we really did like our business idea. And our professor was the guy that he runs the Launchpad program. And he told us straight up, you should definitely apply to Launchpad, just because it's a good experience and you two are clearly very invested in just the overall idea of starting and owning a business. So that's kind of how we started with it.
Was there so how long did the process take from once you did your presentation in class to your professor told you to do Launchpad? Was there a long time frame or short? What was that like?
Yeah, so it's all online. So there was just an online form that we filled out. A lot of it is kind of repetitive from the class. The questions are very similar. What's the problem you're trying to solve? What's your business idea? That form, working with my partner, it probably took half an hour to an hour, and then submit the form, and then they set up an interview at a later date, and then the interview is just basically to make sure that you actually want to do this and also get to know who you are as a person. And then once you're good and they say that you're good to go for the program, they accept you in, and then you start the following semester. So it's a pretty quick and easy process.
Just fill out the form basically. So like you said, you were telling me earlier that you're not following through with actually starting the business right now, but do you think filling out the form and actually putting in the effort, was it worth it? Was there a big reward, or do you think it's going to help you in your future at all?
Oh, absolutely. 100% it's a great experience, especially if you're an entrepreneurship major. Just because our business idea that we originally had, we weren't even 100% sure going into it if we were actually going to planning on launching it. We wanted to go through the program to understand what it takes to go through starting a business, the process that it takes, what you really need to know before investing money, and all those sorts of things. And unfortunately, after going through the process, we figured the cost of starting the business would not be feasible, especially as college students, having to spend money on tuition and everything. But everything we learned along the way, I definitely will apply throughout my future. And hopefully when I own a business someday, I can use these tools that I've learned and absolutely take those and utilize them in the future.
So would you say to anybody who's been in your shoes or thinking about doing Launchpad, would you recommend it to them?
Absolutely. Even if you're on the fence and you're kind of like how we were, we weren't even sure if we were really going to really start the business, I would 100% just dive right in, because it's the worst you can get out of it is experience. And if you get experience out of anything, especially in college, and taking advantage of opportunities that are presented to you, you should absolutely do it, because you're here at school paying money, you might as well get the most out of it. And I think if you're on the fence or you're thinking about it, absolutely do it.
Awesome. I will definitely link the website to Launchpad down below, so anybody, if you're interested, that should be down there. But since you're telling us about your business, I had in here in the outline, give us your elevator pitch, but what really was your business like? If you just want to tell us what your business idea was and what you were going to try to get out of it, I guess.
For sure. So our original business idea, it was called Rate My Driver, and essentially, I don't know if you know what Waze is, but Waze is like a navigation app, so we wanted to be similar to that, except on top of Waze, you're going to be able to rate other people's driving, and then the way it's basically verified is through sourced verification reports, which is basically 5 people have to report a certain driver for it to be a verified report of them being a bad driver, a good driver. That's a very basic view of it. The issues that we ran into associated with that were the costs of developing an app. I mean, looking at $30,000 to $50,000 just for the app, and that's not including marketing, getting a license, or anything like that. And it just was not realistic. Towards the end of the semester, we did kind of pivot and might try a different idea of scaling it down and just doing an app where your phone becomes like a dash cam, so to speak, because a lot of people don't have dash cams, and the main reason is because they're costly, but everyone has a phone, and phone mounts for like your car are $10. So our idea was selling a phone mount and maybe developing an app that makes your phone a dash cam, so people are able to have the peace of mind and the safety knowing that, you know, if they do get in an accident, they have the peace of mind to know that it wasn't their fault if they have their phone as their dash cam. So
interesting. That's a great idea. So like for the Rate My Driver, like if someone like would get really bad ratings, would it then like get processed and they could get like a ticket or something, or get in trouble for like being a really bad driver, I guess?
Yeah, so legally you can't really process someone based on a driver rating app. If you had video footage of a dash cam or something similar, you could. It was more so our future idea was to partner with insurance companies and then adjust their insurance premiums and their rates based on their driving. So if they're a good driver or they make accurate reports, they get better insurance premiums, and vice versa if they get negative ratings. So that was our long-term goal. But like I said, it was just upfront. The cost was just, it just wasn't realistic.
Well, I think going through the process, like you said, the experience, even though like at the end it ended up being crazy expensive, that's how a lot of businesses are, but I think what you said about the experience, you probably learned so much through the process of like applying, especially like in your class too, just like building the business and then like being told to put in Launchpad. So that's like, I think that's really awesome that you got that experience. Would there be any future of your business, like post-graduation? Or are you going to start a different business after you graduate? Or?
I might continue with our pivoted idea in the future, but after school, I definitely will probably start a different business. But I think the biggest thing for me after school is getting a job and getting up some money and capital to be able to start a business, because figuring out how costly it is was probably the biggest thing that I learned from this semester. I mean, you can't always walk into a business with $500 and start it. I mean, people have done it before, and it's very possible, but it's very certain business ideas that can do it. And if you're looking to go big or go home, you're going to need a lot more money.
Moving on to our fourth topic. So you are wearing your DECA shirt that you said. Give us a rundown of what DECA is and what you specifically do as a member.
All right. So DECA is a business org here on campus. The thing that's different about DECA versus other business orgs is that we encompass kind of all of CoBE. So if you're a finance major, a marketing major, or really any type of business major, we have different events and competitions in DECA for you. So if you find an event that you find interesting, like we have a financial or corporate finance event, and you're a finance major, absolutely do it, compete in DECA. And then outside of DECA competition, we have plenty of volunteering opportunities, and it's just a really great time to not only make friends. I mean, I've made a lot of my college friends in DECA, and the friends that I'm still friends with to this day. And if you get nothing out of it outside of making friends, it's still 100% worth it, because it's an experience where you put in, what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. And I've put in a lot into it, and I've gotten a lot out of it, and I have absolutely no regrets of continuing it from high school to college. And if you're thinking about joining a club or org on campus, it doesn't have to be DECA. Totally would recommend DECA, but being involved on campus is probably the best thing you can do, just because of all the opportunities that you're given, from networking to leadership to making friends and connections.
So like with DECA, you said that you're the vice president of competition. So you guys go out to, like, how far out do you guys go to competitions? And I know that can be a big thing, traveling and whatnot for people.
So every spring semester, we go to state, which is, this past year is up in Appleton. My freshman year it was in Lake Geneva, but I think we're sticking with Appleton for the foreseeable future. So we go up to a technical college up there. You stay 2 nights at a hotel, 3 days total, and it's a lot of fun, and it's kind of like an introductory, I won't say introductory, but it's not as competitive as internationals, which is after that. So if you do well at state, you can go to internationals. Last year we went to San Francisco. Absolutely beautiful city. I loved it. And I actually got first place last year
Awesome.
at internationals, so that was a lot of fun. But the year before that, we were in Austin. This upcoming year, we're going down to Louisville, Kentucky. So that will be a lot of fun. But you basically travel across the United States with competition in DECA. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. A lot of my memories that I'll definitely cherish for the next 20, 30 years will be from DECA and just competing at these big cities, and just all the memories that you're able to make. It definitely makes it worth it. And it's, as always, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think, again, it goes back to, guys, people who are watching this, you have to be a part of something on campus. And like you're saying, from your experience, you made all of your friends from DECA, and I think that's a huge part of college. You said it multiple times. What you put into college is what you're going to get out. So it's, like, awesome to hear how you've been, like, building up in your progression in DECA. Now you're vice president of competitions, and you probably plan on, would you plan on being president next year? Are you going to stay vice president of competitions?
I'm still thinking about it. I might run for president, but I definitely enjoy kind of, I wouldn't say a smaller role, but a role where you're able to be centralized on an area. It's like last year, I was the vice president of marketing. This year, I'm vice president of competition, and it's really neat to be able to go through like the different facets of being on board for DECA and seeing like what you specialize in. It's a great experience, and it definitely has a lot of leadership opportunities, not just within DECA, but within other orgs as well. Being involved it's a great way to grow your skill set, and like I've said before, make friends and have a lot of fun.
So overall, it sounds like it's a great resume builder, and that's another thing. All the experiences you talked about, Launchpad, DECA, it's all just going to help you in your future, and I think that's also very important. So that's awesome to hear. We're going to move on to our closing. Last question. What is one piece of advice you would give your younger self or someone who's in your shoes or thinking about following the same path that you did?
It's a tough question because there's a lot of things I'd like to say, but one thing I'd tell my younger self is start being comfortable with being uncomfortable. In life, especially in college, I mean, the moment you get here on campus to the moment you graduate, you're going to be in hundreds of situations that aren't going to be comfortable for you, and you can either choose to not put yourself in that situation and not really grow and make that mistake, or mistakes and opportunities to grow, or you can put yourself in that situation. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to get so much more out of it by putting yourself out there and putting yourself in the situation where you're vulnerable for the opportunity to grow, make mistakes, and learn from your mistakes, and being able to grow as a person, and just your skill set is probably the biggest thing that you can do by putting yourself in a situation where you're able to grow as a student, or like I said, as a person. That's
great advice. So that's all we have in our outline for today. Thank you for being on this podcast. It was an honor to interview you, and you had such great advice for everybody, and I think a lot of people are going to benefit from listening to this and watching this. With that being said, this will be posted on YouTube, and you guys can listen to it on Spotify. I'll have a bunch of links in the description about DECA, Launchpad, so that anybody who's interested can get more information on that. But that's all we have for today, so thank you guys so much for watching Warhawk to Warhawk Episode 3, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.